lot of good things have been happening. If you've been looking, the scrolling, the chart is up here. This is the last 2 years. It's not up there yet. Yeah, can you put it up? Brian's going to put it up. Brian Snyder, our genius here. The last 2 years, you can see capital investment in Carroll County, $282 million. Total new square footage is 1.5 million. New employees, we got a little over 1,000, and retained employees. And then our total taxes, these are new taxes to the county, is $2,550,000. It's the best 2 years that we've ever had. It's incredible. There's 14 companies that relocated here, and 10 of them are manufacturers, high paid. I can tell you, if you talk to Mike Hill, the Secretary of Commerce, says Carroll County is the #1 county for manufacturers. And commissioners, thank you for making it seamless to bring manufacturers in here. And I want to thank everybody. There's a lot of companies out here for making my job a lot easier. We've been doing this event for 17 years.
Lots of opportunities out there. And of course, when you have a lot of job openings, that's a leading indicator for many things, including job creation. So a lot of job openings in January, no surprise, lots of new jobs in February. Got the jobs report earlier this month for February, 313,000 net jobs created in February. That's momentum. And we would have added even more jobs, of course, if it were easier to fill available jobs. And many employers here in the room will tell you, we just can't find people to hire. And I know there's a lot of focus on tests, standardized tests, PARCC assessments, and SATs, GREs, GMATs, MCATs. Do you know what test really matters, that you really need to pass? Drug test. Boy, if you can pass a drug test, sky's the limit in America. Manufacturing, construction, trucking. We have 6.3 million job openings. We're hurtling towards full employment. People say, well, you economists say stuff like that. Then why do we observe so much idleness in America? To be part of the U.S. labor force, one has to be either working or looking for work. And there are a lot of people in this country who are in neither category, neither working or looking for work, including in growing numbers, young American men. This is the labor force participation rate for men ages 25 to 34. It's graphed back to the year 2000. Now, back in 08-09, one could explain declining labor force participation among young men by simply pointing out that at that time, the nation during certain months was losing between 700 and 800,000 jobs a month. We lost 8.7 million jobs during the downturn, and these young men, like many other Americans, were becoming frustrated with their unrequited job searches. But how does one explain this in the context of 2015, 2016, 2017, years during which the nation added more than 2 million jobs? How does one explain this in the context of more than 6 million unfilled job openings? Well, economists have wondered that, and have conducted research on that. And among the leaders in this vein of research have been economists from Princeton and the University of Rochester. Their research recently featured in the Wall Street Journal. And they conclude that one factor explains between 23% and 46% of the diminished participation of young men in the U.S. labor force. One factor, in other words, explains between 1/4 and 1/2 of that. And that factor, of course, video games. The research indicates that an army of young men plays video games all day, every day. So, Anirban, are you saying there's an army of young men playing video games all day, every day? Yes, that's what I just said. Now you're repeating me. But Anirban, I do not see the soldiers in this army. Where are these young men? I don't see them. No one ever does. That's the point. For our purposes, they only exist in the data. This is called an immersive digital lifestyle. An immersive digital lifestyle. You might say, Anirban, these young men living this immersive digital lifestyle, they must be very unhappy with their existences. But this is no way to lead a life. The research further indicates that young American men who play video games all day, every day are far happier than those who work for a living. These video games are awesome. But Anirban, these men are in their 20s, now some of them in their 30s, so there must be, there's food and shelter and clothing, that kind of thing. From where do they garner their economic support? Parents. Parents are the leading source of support for their lifestyle. And you might ask the question, well, why would parents condone, let alone actively financially support such a lifestyle? Well, that's pretty simple. It's a really dangerous world out there. And if they get out there, those young men, they might do bad things, or even worse, bad things could be done to them. Much better for them to be sitting in the basement playing video games. They're so happy, I'll bring them tea and toast in 15 minutes, and isn't it so nice that they're with all their friends? And so there's been some shifts or changes in social norms or social mores, meaning it's, I think, become more acceptable to not work. But if the question is, can someone find a job in America? Are there opportunities, including middle-income opportunities in America? Yes, there are. And it's up to people, I think, at some level to train themselves to take advantage of these opportunities. And we also see, by the way, in Carroll County, lower unemployment and ongoing job creation. This is Carroll County employment. So this is saying between January 2017 and January 2018, Carroll County added more than 1,000 jobs. Impressive. Impressive. And I think you probably feel pretty good about how dynamic the economy has become and how many middle-income jobs are being added here. It's not because there's a large hotel sector here or something like that. Nothing wrong with hotels, but they tend not to create really high-wage jobs on average. But a lot of these jobs that Jack Liburn is creating or attracting are manufacturing jobs, distribution jobs, middle-income jobs. And of course, it increases the size of the commercial base, which allows this community to hold the line on residential property tax rates. And I think you appreciate that as well. And you can credit who for that? Well, Jack Liburn will tell you, Jack Liburn. So now, they do it because they're not committed to any community right now. Today it's Baltimore, then it's Austin, then Boston, then Silicon Valley, Washington, D.C., back to Baltimore, so on and so forth. But once you have kids, you don't want to move around like that. They've got their best friends. What do you really care about, by the way? The quality of their school system. And it's still the case in most communities, including Baltimore, that the best schools are in certain suburban areas. And that, of course, means Carroll County in particular. It's a great question. It's an unanswerable question. The question is, how does small business retail compete with Amazon? The very easy answer is, I have no idea, because Amazon is so formidable. What Jeff Bezos has created is remarkable. I mean, a lot of us use Amazon here. And it's a massive enterprise. It's a global enterprise. But somehow they make you feel like you're their only customer. They are so good. And once upon a time, the advantage, of course, of retail, whether large retail like a Macy's or small, mom and pop retail in Main Street, was instant gratification. Amazon, we have to wait for it. You can order, we can do it now. A computer monitor this morning, it might be here by noon. And it might take me longer to just go to the Best Buy and get it. I mean, and they might not have it. I know Amazon has it because they've got the largest inventory in the world. So how does small business compete with that? Experientially. I still spend a lot of money with small business. A lot of us do. But it's because of the experience that we have. It's because of the paint on the walls and the friendly demeanor of the shopkeeper. It's because they have interesting things that I would not have thought to get. And sometimes it's because they're right next to the hair salon that I love or whatever it happens to be. So I'm there already, and now it doesn't take me that long to get to that. So it all works together. Main streets have to be vibrant. I've said this many times. Westminster is a missed opportunity in Carroll County. Downtown Westminster is a massive missed opportunity. Nothing changes. I've been apparently delivering this for 17 years. I said it 17 years ago. Nothing has changed as far as I can tell. So you cannot compete with Amazon when downtown Westminster doesn't work the way it needs to work. Doesn't look the way it should look. Look, I love Carroll County. I come back. Every time they invite me, I come back. 17 straight years. But I know this. There are sometimes very thriving main streets. You go to Asheville, North Carolina. Look what they've done. They compete with Amazon, no issues. Westminster has that kind of potential. Downtown Frederick, you don't have to go that far. Go to the next county over. Look at downtown Frederick. Do they not compete with Amazon? What do they offer? Experience, beauty, charm, liveliness. That place is flocking with people. It's hard to find parking most nights. So it can be done, but everyone's has to raise their game. And at least from a Main Street's perspective, I'm not sure at least Westminster, the large community in this community, has done it. But it's an opportunity. That's how you compete. Yeah. Are there any other?
And why do companies come? Companies come, we've been told, for labor. We have the best labor force, low turnover, high productivity. We have the safest county in the state of Maryland. And education. Education, we have one of the top 3 education systems in the state. We have the #1 graduation rate at 95.3 in our high schools. There's always a leader at the top who takes credit for it. My name is Jack Liburn, but I'm not taking credit for this. Steve Guthrie is here. Steve, we want to thank you. I saw Steve. Thank you again. You're leaving us quite a legacy, and thank you very much.